everyone, welcome back. I'm Angel of Alchemy, and today I have a little bit of an interesting open discussion video. Today I want to discuss what supplies I think are best to get as a beginner to any TCG, but primarily Yu-Gi-Oh, versus the more luxurious, expensive, collectible side of Yu-Gi-Oh dueling supplies. And I want to give my opinion on if those things are really needed or if they're even nice to have. I have collected some, so obviously my opinion is going to be on the more positive side, but I'm definitely excited to hear what you all have to say. But let's get right into the video. So I have Nubbins here on the mat. I'm going to end up moving him for the rest of the video. So if you've seen our Q&A video, you might have heard us talk about this playmat. This is our replacement white playmat. This is the replacement to the first mat that he ever owned and that I ever played on. As you can see, it doesn't have any zones. I started playing around June of 2017, so back then zones weren't as important as they are today. I definitely think a mat with zones like this one is preferable, especially when I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see, when it actually tells you what the zones are, like spell and trap zone, and it has the field zone and everything, graveyard. I think a mat with zones is honestly so much better for beginners. Of course, there's lots of beginners that pick up a structure deck, and those will have the paper mats that will have zones in it as well. But I don't know if modern day structure decks come with extra monster zones as a part of their paper playmat. So I definitely think picking up just a simple sneak peek mat like this, or any mat that has Yu-Gi-Oh zones on it, is a lot better than picking up a mat without one. However, these ones are very often super cheap, and having a mat that's durable like this one, that's gonna last years like this one has for us. As you can see, it has this threading around it, this stitching that keeps it really solid. I think just getting yourself a regular rubber playmat honestly is perfect for a beginner. I do think that picking up a rubber playmat like these ones, as you can see the rubber underneath, is a lot better than getting a paper playmat. Of course, those are good for a few months, but these ones will be good for a few years. So of course, with any TCG, you will need sleeves for your cards. If you are a beginner, I highly recommend getting sleeves. I used to play with Ultra Pro sleeves, but then they started miscutting them, so they weren't fitting right and they would break really easily, and honestly they weren't good. So now I use Dragon Shield. I highly recommend. They are easy to get a hold of and they don't cost very much at all. I think they're like $5 or something for like 60 of them. I'm not really sure on that, but definitely check out Dragon Shield sleeves. So after you get sleeves, of course you'll need a deck box. I have this little red one. These ones are okay. They're really cheap. They're pretty easy to get. This is just a little Ultra Pro single deck box. I think these are okay, especially as a beginner. If you're gonna have maybe only one deck, maybe it's your structure deck or something, I think these are just fine. But personally, I don't think I would recommend this as the first deck box to get. Instead, I would rather recommend getting one of these bad boys. So this is another Ultra Pro deck box. So although their sleeves aren't that great anymore, their deck boxes are pretty nice. They're just, as you can hear, they're just little plastic deck boxes. They have Velcro tops on this one. This one's just folded. If I can get it open, as you can see. But the reason why I would suggest this one so highly is because of how much space you have in here. As a beginner, you're going to be experimenting with decks. Maybe they're different structure decks, or maybe you get your hands on a full deck. This has the perfect amount of room for decks, extra decks, side decks, whereas This one is just a deck and maybe an extra deck. But if you're doing a 60 card deck or a 50 card deck, it's not all gonna fit in here. This is why I suggest getting one of these. It will last you. It will last a lot longer, and it is super durable. So that's just my preference. I think this would be one of the best deck boxes to get as a beginner, especially if you're more budget, because they are fairly cheap. But the first deck box I started with was this one. This one is an Ultra Pro Tower. As you can see, maybe you can see, I don't know. So there's 3 sections. This bottom part is for dice. I don't have any in there right now. And then there's this, so I don't pop the tripod. I have quite a bit in here. This is mostly just a storage box for me right now. This has my Demise, Ruin, End of the World deck in here, and then some sleeves that I got from your playmat are also in here. Some little nubbin sleeves. Link down below if you want to get yourself some custom sleeves from your playmat, but I think this deck box was pretty perfect for me personally as a beginner, because I only really started out with 1 or 2 decks, and neither of my decks needed extra decks, so this was fine for those. But I honestly do recommend the bigger regular deck box that I showed off earlier. This one will last many years though, and it's really sturdy, but sadly, the reason I'm not highly recommending this one, other than the fact that it doesn't have as much space, is mainly because they started making these with a really cheap plastic. This, you can hear this. This used to be sturdy and thick, and it has this kind of weird rubbery coating on it for grip, but now they're just this really cheap, really, I don't know, it's just flimsy, plasticky. I would not recommend getting the newer version of these, to be honest. And then, of course, you know, you need a place to store all your commons and everything. So, I think we can all remember when we were kids and we had the binder, the 3-ring binder with these flimsy little sleeves in it. I think these are just fine for budget, easy, beginner collectors, but if you want to get something a little more sturdier, something that won't tear as easily, because these are really thin, I would get an Ultimate Guard binder. These are perfect. I use them all the time. I think we have like 3 or 4 of them or something. They are around like $20 if I remember correctly. So they are a bit pricey, but they hold a lot, and their pages are thicker and they're all stitched and everything. So I honestly think one of these is great, and it's gonna last you a long time if you take care of it. And then of course they have the protective strap that helps keep everything all secure. So personally, I would recommend getting this, but if you want to do the 3-ring binder, go for it. Just be careful to make sure that you don't accidentally tear one of your pages, because that's how cards get lost and damaged, and that's never fun. Alrighty, so before I start talking about the more luxurious high-end side of dueling supplies, I first want to say welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Also, I have links down in the description for my Patreon, my Instagram. If you'd like to follow me on there, I post updates about Yu-Gi-Oh! And just fun stuff. And then, you know, there's the code for custom sleeves, custom playmats from your playmat, and there's just some other stuff down below if you'd like to check that out. I'd be very grateful, and welcome to my channel. Alright, so let's talk luxury dueling supplies. First, of course, I have to talk about cloth playmats. So, if you guys haven't been around in the game for very long, cloth playmats are actually fairly new. I'm pretty sure the original cloth playmat came from MeoLammerz, this is from MeoLammerz. I have a whole video on this Cosmo playmat down below. I will probably also leave a little iCard about it. But this is a two-sided Cosmo deck themed playmat. It is one of the jewels of my collection. Cosmos are definitely my top 5, if not top 3 favorite decks. I just enjoy them a lot. And this mat was a gift from Yugioh. I still love it. It's still in great shape. I take very good care of it, obviously, but cloth playmats are a bit more expensive. I think I looked this up and it was $70, and I got this as a gift. So if I had tried to buy it when I got this as a gift, I definitely couldn't afford it. I was too poor back then. But that's to give you a general idea that some of this stuff is a little more high end, but it is well worth it. They stay, I mean, this isn't breaking anytime soon. The stitching on this is phenomenal. It is so incredibly soft, and that's why people love cloth playmats. They're also so incredibly lightweight that they're not going to take up virtually any space in your backpack. So whenever you go to a tournament or something, they're just really nice and easy to pack away and to use, and I think that's why people genuinely like them a lot. Do I think they are necessary? Not if you already have a rubber playmat that has zones and everything. A lot of cloth playmats won't have zones. I definitely don't recommend them for new players, but do I suggest owning one? Heck yes. They are so nice, and they make you feel so, like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how to explain it. They make you feel kind of fancy. So this was my Cosmo playmat from MeoLammerz. We also have, this is called MetaMagic. This is the MetaMagic Alistair themed mat from MeoLammerz. It's pretty neat. This one is owned by Invoked 101, obviously. It is very, very vibrant, and they actually do have extra monster zones here at the top with the spell books, which is pretty awesome. But then, of course, we can't talk about playmats without talking about my new one. So I got this one from as a giveaway gift, which I'm very lucky to have gotten. But this one's from PV Pyramid Gaming, or Pyramid Gaming essentially, but as you can see right here, I'll try to put it up. It's PVRAMID Gaming. You can find them on Instagram. This, of course, was drawn by Amanda LaPalm, also Mana Moon Art on Instagram. And I will try to show pictures of the accounts or link them down below or something. But this one, it's very, very nice, obviously. It's Medolce themed, which I love. This one it does feel a lot thinner than the MeoLammerz one. On the back, let me see if I can try to adjust the lighting on this or zoom in a little. You can see the stitching there, which is super nice. It's nice to have stitching because sadly, these ones didn't have stitching and they do fray a little. But to have the stitched border is super nice. The underside though isn't like, it doesn't feel like a stitched texture, which is interesting because this one very much is a stitched texture. And this one is way thicker than hers. So if you want something that's even more lightweight, she does make probably the lightest weight mats around, and they have the most gorgeous designs on them. Let me zoom back out so you can see them. And they're super pretty, but they're also a little bit hard to get a hold of, so I suggest checking out her Instagram, following following her and her brand on Twitter to try to get updates when they come out if you are interested in getting one of her mats, because it is actually surprisingly very hard to get a hold of one of her mats because there's so much high demand for them because they're so high quality. Once again, do I think you need a cloth playmat? No. Would I recommend getting one? Definitely, because they are beautiful, they are soft, they are lightweight, and I've never seen a single person have the same cloth playmat as somebody else. So it's always cool to see the different designs of them. And they're really convenient, because like I said, a lot of the times they're 2-player mats. So you can just, there you go, both people can play the game now because we both have a mat. So let me just put this back into the bag, and then I will talk about deck boxes and binders. Alrighty, so first up we have deck boxes. This is one of the first luxury deck boxes we kind of got. This is the Cyber Dragon leather deck box from LBD Duel. They used to be known as Leather Deck Box, but they changed their name quite a few months back. You can find them on Instagram at LEB_Duel, and I will of course try to link them as well. This was handcrafted and hand carved, hand colored, everything. I personally am not a fan of leather items. If they ever do vegan leather, that'd be really cool, but that's just me. However, leather is such a high quality, it's super tough, it's super strong and flexible, is a really high quality material, and it shows in this deck box because we've had this for a while. It has a few dents and dings in it, just because we have owned it through I think 2 moves, and so it's gotten a little bit banged up, but it's still in great shape. They have their logo on the back. They have this really cool section that unhooks so that you can slide a belt through here and you can attach it to your belt. And then they just introduced new clips, so they're always growing. They have a bunch of different designs for a bunch of different Yu-Gi-Oh products. They also have plain deck boxes that don't have any designs on them. Do I recommend this deck box? 100%. It is really sturdy. If you are okay with owning something that is leather, definitely consider checking them out because it is a really high quality handcrafted deck box, and there's not many handcrafted deck boxes out there, so it's really cool to own one. It's just my personal opinion. Do you need this? No. They have bigger ones too, so if you did need a bigger one, they have bigger ones. But this one holds a deck and an extra deck perfectly snugly in there. It doesn't shake. I mean, like if I shake it really hard, you can kind of hear it moving around. I don't know if you were able to hear that, but like nothing really moves just by normal motion in here. It fits perfectly. Your deck isn't going to get ruined in this. I do think it's a really high quality item to own if you are interested in it, but I don't think any beginners need it to play the game, obviously. That was a lot of talking just for that one. I just really enjoy their brand because I think it's really cool that they make handcrafted Yu-Gi-Oh deck boxes. I just think that's the coolest thing ever, that there's people out there that still handcraft items. I don't know. So I talked a little bit too much about that. I'm sorry. Next we have Imperium. So a lot of people actually know about Imperium. This is I think one of their first ever deck boxes. We got this off of a friend, actually. It has the magnetic seals on it, which are still really tight, and they connect really easily. Everything is still stitched, nothing's ever frayed on this, and it has quite a bit of room. Also, it's nice that they have the little Oh, these are my car dice. These are Hot Wheel car dice. You roll them and it rolls a 6-sided die. But I think this is nice. I really do. It is a well-built deck box. It's super sturdy. And nothing has, like I said, nothing's frayed, nothing's been bent, nothing's creased, nothing's been damaged. This looks brand new, essentially. I think it's nice, but I honestly think there are better luxury deck boxes you can get out there, and that's just my personal opinion. And I want to show off some of my favorite luxury deck boxes. So I did a video on this. It's called the Kraken Deck Box. This is by Gymtech. Ooh, it looks nice on the camera. But the reason I think this is so much better than this is, firstly, size. This can hold so much. I think this is more convenient for if you're just taking a nice deck box to a regional or something and you just want something small to keep and sturdy to keep your stuff in. I think this is perfect for travel. I think this is a bit much. The size of it is honestly a little bit hard to pack into our backpack, which Gymtech does make backpacks too, so I guess, you know, might as well get both. But it is a little bulky. I do have rather small hands, but I mean, you can see the size of my hand compared to this. So it is a little wide, a little bulky, and a little long. However, it does hold a lot. So you open it up and you have a place for your deck and your side, extra, and then you have this fold down area for your dice. The magnets on it are a little hard to get undone because they're so strong, but honestly, this thing holds everything so well, and it's, I don't know, I don't know why I like this one more. Like I said, it's less convenient to take around, but it is so pretty. I like the uniqueness of the art. I like the uniqueness of the deck divider. I don't know, this one is not super great for travel at all, but it is super nice to take the locals. For traveling purposes, these first two, these are nice. But for just owning like a piece of art, this is perfect. We also have the Alice one. Let me see, let me show it to you guys here. We have the Alice. I took a few pictures of this. You can also see a review of it on Invoked 101's channel. But like, they also have the cutest Alice in Wonderland artwork on here, and it's the same design as the Kraken one, which is why I didn't do a review of this one, because they're built the same. But I definitely don't think you need any of these deck boxes, because like I said, they're all a little bulky, except for this one. This one's honestly super easy to put in your backpack, or hang on your belt, but they're all a bit big and bulky, and I don't think you really need any of them. However, they stay in such great shape for so long. You don't have to worry about them cracking like you do with the thinner plasticky ones. Those ones you always have to worry about them breaking and falling apart, but these ones have stayed so nice for so long, and they're so easy to take care of. So I think they are definitely worth their value, and I think they're great to have in a collection and to be able to take to locals and stuff, but I don't think they're necessarily the best to take to bigger events, except for, you know, maybe something like this. But even then, you have the potential of something that's pretty expensive and really hard to come by being stolen. I would much rather take one of my plastic deck boxes, but that's just my opinion. That's just me. So now, I know this video is a little bit long. One last thing, we are on to binders. So we have this pretty binder. I think this was by Imperium, I'm honestly not sure. I don't remember. I think this was by Imperium. This is owned by Invoked 101 as well. It is heavy. It is thick and heavy. You can see like how thick the actual book part of this is. It does have a zipper on it, which is cool. And the pages of it are basically exactly like the ones you would get in the Ultimate Guard one. And so it's pretty nice. However, I really don't think... Sorry everyone, my front-facing camera shut off, but as I was saying, this is nice, it is beautiful, but I really don't think it's necessary to buy something like this. The zipper on it's nice because it can like slightly weather protect your stuff if it's raining or something. But honestly, like I said, the pages are exactly like the Ultimate Guard and Ultra Pro binders, so I really don't think this is necessary. I just think it's neat to have. It's, once again, more of an artistic thing, just like these deck boxes are. It's just nice to have a unique piece of art in your dueling supplies. So this is honestly normally what I do. This is an Ultra Pro binder. It's basically just like the Ultimate Guard one. I like to put stickers on mine to make them more but as I was saying, essentially I like to put stickers on mine just to make it seem like a little nicer, but I mean, other than some warping on the plastic itself, the inside of this binder has honestly stayed exactly the same as all the slots on it. I can shake this page and nothing's falling out, and that just could be because I take really good care of my binders. But I really don't think you need something like this when you can just buy something like this. And like I said, these are around $20. This was like almost $100, I think. I think it was somewhere between $60 to $100. I really don't think you need this. I don't think this is necessary. It's more of an artistic piece than anything. So if that's what you are into, sure, you know, definitely get this. But I do not recommend this for beginners. I think it's a waste of money, to be honest, for a beginner to get something like this when you don't know if you're going to be in the game for a really long time or need it for a really long time. So that's just my opinion. Alrighty everyone, thank you so much for watching my video. I want to hear your opinions on what do you think of more artistic, luxury, collectible items in dueling, and do you think they are necessary? I completely forgot to go over field centers, but I honestly think buying a nice field center is so worth it. It doesn't matter who it comes from, it just is nice. But I'd really love to hear your thoughts on how did you start playing Yu-Gi-Oh? What did you start with? Is there anything that you would recommend new players getting a hold of when they are starting out in this game? And just let me know what you thought about this video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye!